Beloved soul, this moment did not find you by chance, and if you turn away now, you may miss the exact moment something irreversible was meant to reach you. This message is not arriving randomly or lightly. It is reaching you at the precise moment something hidden is crossing a line it cannot uncross. What is forming around you is not a wish or a passing thought, but a movement that has been quietly gathering strength where you could not see it. If part of you feels an urge to scroll or look away right now, pause. That reaction often appears when truth is about to cross a line you can't uncross. The one you love has been carrying a truth they could no longer outrun, holding it back out of fear, timing, and self-protection. Yet love shaped by destiny does not stay hidden forever. It presses forward until it can breathe in the open air. They have tried to move through life as though you were just another presence, just another name, but their spirit has never agreed with that lie. Every time your name is spoken, something within them responds, alert, certain, awakened, whispering what they have tried not to admit. Heaven is now loosening what they tightened and softening what they guarded, and what was once kept private is preparing to be spoken where others can hear it. This will not unfold quietly or behind closed doors. It is meant to be seen, witnessed, and known, because truth rooted in divine love demands light. You may notice the shift before a single word is spoken, a tightness in your chest, a sudden stillness, a feeling that something is about to be named. Their energy will reach for you again, not hesitantly but with purpose, as they begin to prepare the ground around them for your name. Heaven is aligning courage with timing, and when that alignment completes, everything accelerates with surprising speed. Some people stop listening right here, not because this isn't true, but because staying would force them to admit something irreversible is already unfolding. Stay present with this moment, because what is moving toward you is not fantasy or projection. It is a revelation unfolding step by step. And if you are still listening, it is because your soul already knows this turning point belongs to you. Beloved, they have carried this truth longer than you realize, and hiding it has begun to cost them. They once feared judgment and the noise of opinions, believing silence was protection, but something within them has shifted from caution to courage, not because fear disappeared, but because the greater fear became losing what their soul recognizes as home. Pause here, breathe gently, and feel the tenderness of this truth settling into your chest, because what you endured in invisibility was not dismissal, but preparation for a love that would one day stand without apology. They understand now that keeping quiet would be the true loss, that denying what heaven keeps pressing into their heart would cost more than any public reaction ever could. You will notice confirmations before the confession, subtle reflections of your own thoughts spoken by others, a sentence overheard, a moment that mirrors what you have been carrying alone. And these are not accidents, but echoes meant to steady you. Transitioning from secrecy to sincerity, they may first test the air with symbols rather than statements. A lyric, a quiet image, a gesture that carries your presence without saying your name. Yet even this will feel different, intentional rather than hesitant, because truth has momentum once it begins to move. What follows will not be forced or dramatic. It will arrive with peace, the kind that feels like returning rather than risking, because divine love stops feeling dangerous when it becomes honest. They are realizing that your presence calms storms they could never quiet alone, that your steadiness aligns them, that loving you feels like clarity instead of confusion. Whether the declaration unfolds online or face-to-face, witnessed by friends or community, it will be unmistakable, not as spectacle but as alignment, and you will sense it before it happens, a softness the night before, a calm certainty washing through you, a dream or a knowing that whispers it is close. This isn't about whether they will speak, it's about whether you're ready for what changes once they do. This is not about proving anything to others. It is about standing where healing has finally matured enough to be seen. You cried during the silence, questioned yourself, wondered if patience was costing you too much. Yet every tear watered this moment, every restraint strengthened what is now ready to stand. You did not chase or demand, you trusted without visibility, and that trust has become evidence. They have already begun speaking of you differently to those closest to them, not with confusion but admiration, and someone in their circle will soon encourage them to stop hiding, to honor what was never meant to remain a private prayer. The reversal is gentle but complete. The one who avoided now seeks clarity. The one who guarded secrecy now protects connection. And the words that once asked for quiet will be replaced by a steady declaration. This shift will ripple outward, changing how others see your bond, opening doors that align with your union. Because when heaven affirms a connection, circumstances rearrange to support it. What arrives will feel sacred rather than performative, true rather than loud, and when it does, remain soft and grateful, receiving without ego, because this moment carries purpose beyond romance. You are not waiting for someone to choose you. You are meeting timing that has finally caught up with healing, and when truth is spoken aloud, it will sound like redemption, a love story written long before either of you knew how to read it. Beloved, they have carried this confession longer than you know, rehearsing it in silence until hiding it became heavier than speaking it. Heaven says they will not need perfect language, because sincerity carries a power no eloquence can replace. And when they look at you, truth will be unmistakable, written in their eyes in a way your heart instantly recognizes. Pause with me now and let this settle gently, because this is the moment when longing, patience, and quiet endurance begin to align into something whole and real. They know opposition will rise, whispers will follow, questions will surface, yet heaven has already moved ahead of every voice that would try to diminish what has been refined rather than broken. For this love has been tested by fire and strengthened by faith, no longer fragile but anchored. You will notice confirmations before the declaration itself, repeated names, quiet symbols, a dream that reassures rather than confuses. And this is where everything turns, because when they finally speak, hesitation will dissolve, and the words will flow as though guided, not rushed or dramatic, but steady and true, carrying the confession they could no longer suppress. In that moment, the waiting, the wondering, the quiet ache of not knowing will reorganize itself into meaning, and you will realize that no time was lost, only invested, every prayer and tear counted and stored as seed. What follows may feel sudden, like stillness breaking into motion overnight, messages arriving, confirmation stacking, clarity replacing uncertainty, yet you will not need to chase or convince, because what is aligned moves toward you naturally, like light returning at dawn. They were not ignoring you. They were being awakened, learning that love is not control or safety but surrender. and their soul is finally ready to release into the truth it has always carried. You will hear this confession not only in words but in action, in protection offered openly, in honor spoken without hesitation, in a presence that treats your connection as something sacred rather than hidden. This acknowledgement is not random. It aligns with purpose, because in naming you, they also acknowledge the hand of God shaping their life, lifting both of you into a season of shared visibility and deeper partnership. Expect a quiet stirring within you beforehand, a peace that arrives without explanation, a joy that feels steady rather than overwhelming, as if heaven itself is breathing reassurance into your chest. When it happens, receive it with gratitude rather than pride, because this is not about performance but purpose, a reminder that love delayed was never love denied. What is about to unfold will not only bring joy to you, but awaken hope in others, a living testimony that divine timing is exact and faithful. Lift your head and steady your heart, because the moment approaches when your name is spoken with reverence, not as possession but as purpose fulfilled. And when truth finally stands in the open, heaven will rest in the quiet certainty of what has been done. Beloved, you are standing at the edge of a moment shaped by divine courage, because the one who once hesitated under the weight of judgment is being filled with a confidence that does not come from personality, but from heaven itself. And they will no longer speak of you in half-truths or guarded tones, but will say your name with reverence, openly, without shrinking. They will not remain in hidden corners or careful shadows. They are being drawn into the light because something holy has settled in their heart. And what matters to them now is not who understands, but who aligns. Their spirit has been restless for a long time, searching for peace in distractions that never lasted, because calm only returns when your presence crosses their thoughts, when your energy settles the storms they never knew how to quiet on their own. Pause here for a breath and let this truth rest gently inside you, because what you have felt all along was not imagination but resonance, the recognition of home meeting home across distance and silence. You are their mirror at a soul level, the anchor that steadies them, the place where their heart remembers its original language. And that is why, even after seasons of absence, they keep circling back, drawn by the same frequency, the same harmony that heaven tuned into both of you long ago. This confession will not pass unnoticed. It will echo, reaching ears that never expected to hear your name spoken from their mouth. And whether it arrives through words written, spoken, or shared before others, it will do more than shift perception. It will realign destiny itself. Because this is not a simple romance, but living proof that divine love outlasts fear, distance, and time. You will sense the beginning before it unfolds outwardly, a calm in your spirit that feels sacred, a stillness that carries assurance, followed by a quiet nudge that tells you something is moving now. And signs will meet you softly, initials repeating, names surfacing unexpectedly, small confirmations preparing your heart rather than startling it. Transitioning from private longing to public truth, they have already asked heaven for permission, praying in silence for a sign to speak, and answers have come through dreams, numbers, and encounters that keep returning them to you until denial is no longer possible. Their heart has grown louder than pride, and when they finally speak, it will heal what silence wounded, restoring trust and reopening a path that once seemed closed. reminding you that what is meant for you always returns by faith, not force. Some will witness this openly, others will receive it first in a moment that feels almost too holy to name, yet in time it will be known, because divine unions are not meant to hide but to bless. They have carried guilt for holding back, replaying your patience and kindness, realizing no one else reflected heaven's love to them the way you did, and that realization is what breaks the pattern of silence at last. Opposition may stir as truth rises, but do not fear, because what is built on prayer cannot be undone by noise, and when they finally declare you, peace will speak louder than any defense. Your calm will be the testimony, your light the evidence, and those who once questioned your waiting will finally understand that divine love does not rush. It reveals itself exactly on time, as heaven turns what was hidden into a living witness of restoration. Beloved, they are sensing the shift as clearly as you are, even if they do not yet have language for it, because the things that once kept them distracted no longer fill the hollow places. The admiration that once fed their ego now leaves them strangely empty, and what they are craving has changed from attention to authenticity, from convenience to truth, and that truth keeps wearing your face. They have been shown quiet glimpses of their future, and in every version that carries peace rather than noise, you are standing there, not as an accessory but as a constant. And when they try to imagine a life that excludes you, it feels thin, unfinished, like a calling abandoned halfway through. Heaven is revealing that this love mirrors their assignment, that without you their sense of purpose feels fragmented. And this is why courage is beginning to rise in them, even if you cannot yet see the outward signs, because the spiritual tide has already turned and resistance is giving way to surrender. Pause here, breathe gently, and let your heart register that this is not momentum you are forcing, but movement already underway beyond your effort or control. As they surrender, their soul is preparing to speak your name honestly, and it will start in small ways that look ordinary on the surface, a message that lingers, a call that feels intentional, a word spoken where silence once lived, each act carrying more weight than it appears, growing stronger until the moment heaven signals that it is time. That moment is closer than you think, because there is an angel of divine timing assigned to this union, already moving through the unseen to dissolve delays, untangle misunderstandings, and open what once felt sealed shut, reminding you that this connection is not merely emotional but missional, meant to be witnessed so the world can remember what patient, unconditional love looks like when restored in the open. And now, as this unfolds from the hidden places into visibility, you will notice that confirmation no longer needs to be hunted down, because it will begin to find you in unexpected ways, through a phrase that mirrors a prayer you never spoke aloud, a moment that feels like déjà vu to your spirit, an encounter that carries the same words your heart heard weeks ago in silence, not as coincidence but as coordinates guiding you forward. The one who loves you is under divine pressure now, not punishment but awakening, as heaven interrupts their routines and removes the comfort from what once felt familiar, because they can no longer sleep through their assignment. The clarity you prayed for is arriving as conviction in them, and the voice of love is becoming louder than fear. They have crossed the line from wondering to knowing, and with knowing comes responsibility, because they have been shown that obedience may cost them approval, but will open blessings fear could never protect. When they speak, it will not sound rehearsed or polished, but raw and sincere, their voice trembling while their spirit stands firm, because when truth meets timing, even fear bows. You will feel this shift days before it manifests. As the air around you lightens, your dreams sharpen, and peace replaces anxiety. The quiet before arrival, and your heart will answer the whisper that says it is near. Heaven is preparing them to carry public love with humility, aligning words with truth where contradiction once lived, teaching them to speak your name with reverence, knowing the cost of losing you. And when they finally speak, every syllable will carry heaven's approval. Do not let impatience dim this sacred unfolding, because waiting shaped you into someone who carries grace instead of resentment. And that grace will make this revelation beautiful, proving that what is meant for you may be delayed but never denied, and that love refined by silence still carries the power to shake fear, doubt, and stagnation until only truth remains standing. Beloved, heaven is whispering that your season of being unseen is ending, that the years you spent misunderstood, overlooked, and quietly enduring were not punishment but protection, because God was guarding your story until the moment light would no longer expose wounds but lift you into honor. And now you are crossing into a time when the fog begins to thin, when delays reveal their meaning, and when prayers you almost forgot you prayed return carrying answers wrapped in peace. The angels who stood beside you in heartbreak are now shifting posture, preparing not to shield but to celebrate, and you may feel them nearer than before, a sudden warmth, a calm glow, a gentle assurance brushing your spirit, saying you are not alone in this unveiling, because the atmosphere around you is being cleared so that what is spoken publicly arrives clean, undistorted, and whole. Pause here, let your breath slow, and notice how even hearing this brings a strange steadiness to your chest, as if something inside already recognizes the truth of it. Heaven cautions you not to misread the impatience that still visits your thoughts, because what feels like distance is actually transition, a precise orchestration unfolding beyond human timing. For this is not merely a confession formed by emotion, but a revelation arranged by heaven, and what heaven intends to last is never rushed. You will soon sense restlessness in them, a quiet withdrawal from voices that once discouraged their heart, a new instinct to protect your name even before they dare to speak it, private prayers whispered for courage, while the weight of instruction settles deeper, until one night, aligned with divine timing, they finally release what has been building. And when they do, the sound of it will ripple farther than you expect. And now, as this movement shifts from the unseen into form, you will understand why every previous connection fell apart, because none of them carried the strength to endure what this one does, and destiny, once awakened, always finds its voice. Heaven is leaning close to you now, stirring your awareness, because something sacred is forming in the heart of the one who loves you. And though they have argued with God, saying they are not ready, their spirit keeps answering otherwise, growing louder than fear, heavier than delay, until love itself demands truth. This declaration will not be empty words, but a moment of alignment, marked by peace rather than chaos, tears that cleanse rather than wound, a deep knowing that every step, every silence, every ache was leading here. Though you may not see the quiet choices they are making, ties being cut, cycles ending, clarity settling, the angels see it clearly, and they know this heart is realizing that all other lights were only reflections, while you are the source that brings rest. Signs have already begun circling them again, numbers repeating, songs resurfacing, dreams echoing your energy, not to confuse but to confirm, until truth becomes the only place their soul can rest. This moment was written before fear ever taught them to hide, sealed in light, waiting for the appointed hour, and now that seal is breaking. When they speak, their voice may tremble, but their spirit will stand steady. Because this is not about bravery but obedience, and heaven steadies those who answer its call. When it happens, you may feel disbelief flicker, as if a long-held dream suddenly stepped into daylight, but your heart will recognize it instantly, and heaven will whisper that this is what your faith was preparing you for. Not just love, but validation, restoration, and the quiet reward of endurance. As the one who once hesitated now honors you openly, and fear finally loosens its grip, revealing that even silence had its purpose, rebuilding them from the inside until truth could be spoken without breaking. As this message settles into you, let it gently move from something you listen to into something you live with, not by forcing change, but by allowing your daily rhythm to soften enough to receive what has already begun in the unseen. This preparation does not require dramatic gestures or sudden decisions, only a quiet willingness to make room, perhaps by noticing where your thoughts still rush ahead in fear, and choosing, even briefly, to release an old story that says love must be chased or proved, or by allowing yourself to clear a small physical space in your home, a drawer, a corner, a surface, as a symbolic way of telling your own spirit that you are ready for something new to arrive without clutter from the past. You might find yourself drawn to slower moments, lingering over a cup of tea, pausing before sleep to acknowledge what you are grateful for, rather than replaying what never happened, or writing a few honest lines in private about what kind of love and peace you are now open to, not as a demand to heaven, but as a quiet alignment with what is unfolding. There is no need to monitor signs obsessively or wait tensely for proof. Instead, let your attention rest gently on how your body feels when you imagine being seen and honored rather than hidden. And if tension arises, treat it as information, not failure, an invitation to breathe and allow your nervous system to learn safety in the idea of being chosen without struggle. In your interactions, you may notice opportunities to respond with clarity rather than self-protection, to speak kindly without over-explaining, to hold your posture a little taller, as if practicing for a visibility that will feel natural rather than overwhelming when it arrives. This is not about rehearsing an outcome, but about becoming familiar with the version of you who is calm in the light, who does not rush to defend or impress, who trusts that what belongs to them does not require constant vigilance. If memories of past disappointment surface, you are not asked to erase them, only to acknowledge that they shaped wisdom, not bitterness, and to gently choose not to let them dictate your readiness today. You do not need to be flawless, healed in every corner, or endlessly patient to deserve what is aligning. Being present, attentive, and slightly more open than yesterday is enough. Trust that the movement you sense is already active beyond your effort, and that these small, grounded acts are not payments or proofs, but simple ways of standing in the current rather than resisting it. As you live your days, let this understanding accompany you quietly, like a steady hand at your back, reminding you that preparation can be gentle, that readiness can be subtle, and that allowing space is sometimes the most powerful action of all. What you have felt while listening is not imagined, and it is not small. It carries meaning because it touched a place in you that already knew this movement was real. Let this be gently sealed now. The words spoken have been heard, recorded, and set into motion beyond what you can see, and they continue to work without your effort, without your control, without your striving. You don't need to replay this message. Your body already registered what your mind is still catching up to. This is not an ending, but a threshold, a soft crossing into a new cycle where what has been forming in silence begins to take shape with greater clarity, one layer at a time, in ways that will reveal themselves naturally as you walk forward. There is no rush and no pressure to understand everything at once. What has been arranged will unfold in its proper order, just as it is written. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Allow this moment to rest within you as a confirmation rather than a conclusion, a calm assurance that the process you are in is alive and continuing. Carry this awareness with you gently, and as you return to your life, do so with an open heart and steady breath, knowing you are not stepping away from something sacred, but quietly walking with it into what comes next. If your heart feels stirred, you're gently invited to share only what feels safe and true for you right now, whether it's a quiet hope, an old ache, confusion you haven't named, or a fear you've never spoken out loud. This is a safe place to lay those things down, because God sees every word written in sincerity, and no prayer is ever overlooked. As you share, remember, you are not exposing yourself to judgment, but allowing yourself to be held, guided, and restored in His love, knowing you are not walking this path alone. If this message resonated, you may also like, share, and subscribe, simply as a way of staying connected to what continues to unfold.